So, Tariq Nasheed versus Sneeko and Myron games. Coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense, Logic, and Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So as y'all know, we just recently had a major debate. Again, major based upon whatever circles you run in. But Tariq Nasheed had a debate with Sneeko and Myron Gaines. Now, all of them are content creators in their own right. Of course, Tariq Nasheed is well known amongst a lot of blacks. He started out teaching Mac lessons, wrote books on teaching men game, in the relation between men and women, and he since moved into a new vertical, that is race hustling, because there's a lot of money to be made by telling black people that they're victims, and he's made a good bit of money off of it. He's the creator of the Hidden Color series of movies, and now Myron Gaines, of course, he's the Fit of Fresh and Fit. He also, like I said, has their popular YouTube channel that's on YouTube as well as Rumble, because oftentimes they get demonetized for the content. It's after hours show content with females. He also does Money Monday shows, teach men how to make money, people how to make money. And then Sneeko is also he's also a renowned content creator. Now, they were on a panel, and of course, then Tommy Sotomayor was also on that panel of different people, but they got into a heated debate, and the debate was mostly between them. There was other people there chiming in, but it was really between basically Tariq and versus Myron Gaines and Sneeko. Now, a lot of people are saying that Tariq won, but I disagree. I say he lost, which I will explain. And again, objectively, I would say he's lost. He lost the debate. And the reason why is he says virtually nothing new. I mean, Tariq Nasheed he's a slick shyster type, and he's not a person that's going to debate you straight up. He's always got these angles, and like I said, he basically does nothing but says white supremacy all day. And in this particular debate, he just said white supremacy and white anti-blackness. Everything is white supremacy. White people are white supremacy, the Jews are white supremacy, right? Asians are white supremacies, Hispanics are white supremacies, everything is white supremacy. That's his viewpoint, his angle. Again, he just says a whole lot of nothing, and he just says white supremacy at least once a minute. So he's basically the male Cynthia G. Now, the issue that I had with Myron and Sneeko is that they never really challenged him on any of his points. Like while some people would say that Tariq won, they never really challenged him on a lot of his points he made. And really the basis of his whole argument is white supremacy and white anti-blackness. They never challenged him on it. And how you know they never challenged him? Because in the whole entirety of the debate, which I listened to it, basically you heard two examples of racist rhetoric, and that's usually rare for blacks, because when you start challenging them on black victimhood, they start throwing out racist rhetoric like there's no tomorrow. But in this case, we only heard two. Now, I can imagine that Sneeko and Myron are really not as well versed into racist rhetoric, because they don't listen to a whole lot of black folks as much as I do. But there was only two examples that they used, and it was both surrounding disparities. And I always say disparity doesn't mean depravity. And they talked about disparities in education, disparities in the justice system. They never checked them on that. Now, Tariq Nasheed threw out some points out there, and there really wasn't one point that Tariq Nasheed said that couldn't have been easily destroyed. Well, by me anyway, that I wouldn't have immediately destroyed. But they didn't check him. For instance, Tariq Nasheed basically started talking about how white supremacy oppressed his family in the Sudan, and the white supremacy punked them in their own country, and you had to come to America. And again, he said this as if this was some type of diss, but actually it wasn't a diss, if you know how to respond to it. Because those same people, as he said, well, first of all, you're telling me that white supremacy oppresses these people in their third world country and keep them down, but let them come to America and outperform white people? Because Asian people pretty much outperform white people in just about every metric of society. You know, income per capita, academic output, marriage rates, crime rates, so on, you name the rate. Asian people pretty much are better than white people. So they let them in. By the way, Middle Eastern people are Asian, but you let these people come to your country and outperform you after you supposedly oppressed them in their own home country. Again, makes no sense. But if Asian people come to this country and take full advantage of everything, all the opportunity they have. I mean, if you live in a third world country with no opportunity, and you go to a first world country and you take advantage of all that opportunity, well, where's this? And then he talked also about how, you know, blacks created a situation in America that other people of other races can come to. In other words, black people fought for civil rights. Now immigrants and everybody who comes to America is treated like basically a first-class citizen as opposed to second-class citizen. And I will agree on that. You know, the civil rights era was fought for the most part, by blacks. But however, there were white people involved as well. Here's the problem I have, though. If black people fought for this back then in the past, shouldn't black people today have the most invested interest in taking advantage of it? So you're gonna let your basically parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents fought for civil rights so that you can be treated as a first-class citizen, and you let somebody from another country come here and take more advantage than you are? I mean, if that was the case, because that's what literally was happening in America, because Asian people far exceed basically black people, FBAs, in just about every metric of society. So you let them come here and take full advantage, which your ancestors did, you got no argument here. That's not a diss. And lastly, the last thing I'd like to go over with something that Tariq Nasheed is with that we foolishness. You know, the group collective oppression, all this we fought for those rights. Well, when black people were fighting for those rights, Tariq Nasheed wasn't even born, so he ain't do nothing. He ain't do shit. They did. So there's no we in this. So anytime black people try to do all that we speaking French, you got to shut all that down. Again, you never allow group collective oppression, because all they can ever say is what they do to us, not what was done personally to them. And I always say, if it's not about individuals and all the other foolishness, and it's all about holding us all as a group, by systematically holding us all back as a group. If that were the case, since we are all individual human beings, we have our own individual goals in life, all different lives, live in different cities, different areas, different parts of the country, deal with different dynamics, that system would all impact us differently. So if there's really truly a system holding us all down as a whole, black folks, then each individual black person should be able to tell you how they are being individually impacted by it. The truth of the matter is they can't, because they're not. And this is why black folks fall back on this group collective nonsense, because they can't tell you how they're being individually impacted. Just like Tariq Nasheed couldn't tell Jesse Lee Peterson how the white man was holding him back when he interviewed on this show a few years ago. Now, like I say, the reason why I say Tariq lost is because eventually Myron Gang started to check him. He again, not as hard as he should have, but he started to check him, and that's when Tariq Nasheed just started to go into the excessive talk about white supremacy. That's what when he gets checked, he starts saying white supremacy excessively, and it starts to sound foolish. Also, when he starts with the stop, that's foolishness, he has no response. That's when Myron Gaines started to flex some muscle, and had he did that since the beginning, no one would be saying, only the extreme pro-blacks would be saying Tariq won. Because at the end of the day, for the most part, if whoever person you were a bigger fan of, you're going to say they won. But I have to objectively say that Tariq lost because he really said nothing. And again, Tommy was trying to help him, telling him, they were asking bad questions. And at the same time, I was saying the same thing, because they would never challenge the basis of his argument. If the basis of his argument is white supremacy, then you challenge that white supremacy, which Tariq Nasheed can't answer that. All he can never do is give you broad general nonsense, global white supremacy, how white supremacy everywhere, but he can't tell you, again, he cannot tell you how white supremacy, nor racism, nor anything else will be stopping him from achieving his goals in America, either in America or globally. Anyway, y'all, that's my 2 cents on this. Had they let Tommy basically take over, Tariq Nasheed would have been destroyed, because his arguments are stupid and easily defeatable once you know. If you watch my videos, you'll be able to shut him down very quickly. Had I been on that panel, Tariq Nasheed would have lasted at best 10 minutes before he would have had himself painted in the corner. But anyway, y'all, as always, until next time.